here, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you for coming. Alrighty, let's see here. Just a call to order. Adrian?
Here.
Pat?
Here.
Deb? Here. And Francis?
Here.
Okay, very good. Let's go right down to the approval of the minutes from July 19th, please.
Make a motion to accept.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Deb. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval to set a public hearing for September 20th to override the 2% tax cap for the 2024 budget if needed.
So moved.
Deb, a second.
Second.
Okay, Francis, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval to set the 2024 budget workshops for Wednesday, September 20th, starting at 2:30 p.m. with departments. First session at 2:30 will be with the highway, the airport, the library, the museum, Chamber of Commerce, and dog control. The second session will be at 3:30 with the assessor, town court, tax office, town clerk, senior citizens, and Meals on Wheels. Approval, please.
So moved.
Deb, and a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Adrian, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval for the supervisor, town clerk's office, assessor, town board, the highway supervisor, and the deputy receiver of taxes to attend the 29th annual SUNY Potsdam Local Government Conference on October 10th in Potsdam. It's a half-day session.
I make a motion to accept.
Okay, Pat, and a second.
Second.
Francis, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Approval from the town board to approve the agreement for the 2024 auditors. Bowers has been selected by the majority, if not all. I haven't heard from one person yet, but how is that working? Bowers it is. Okay, Francis, is that your motion?
Yes.
Second?
Second.
Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Okay, that's very good. Approval to set a public hearing for September 20th, 2023 to establish a moratorium on all billboard development, construction, and installation in the town of Massena, which would expire on the 28th of February 2024.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Here goes Pat. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Approval from the town board to accept the grant agreement for the airfield electrical improvements. Federal share being $966,000, town share $25,000, state share $25,000. And again, it's over $1 million project. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Yep, and a second? Okay, Francis, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Approval from the town board to accept the new insurance plan for the town of Massena retirees.
I'll make the motion.
Pat, and a second?
Second.
Okay, Francis, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and again, I want to thank, I've been on there's been a lot of contacts between me and Zach Zuckerman, making sure that he's talked to everybody, had a conversation with all the retirees so that they have an understanding of the process and what they will have, etc. And for the record, I'd like to thank the following people who are on the committee: Pat Facto, Francis Carville, and the committee of Nancy Frigo, Georgette Davis, Julie Paquin, and Elaine Dunn-Thayer. Thank you all very, very much for working on that. It's much appreciated.
I would say that the fact is it saves us all money.
Yeah.
It's good for everybody.
And more important, everybody can contact if they have a better understanding, which makes me feel more content.
And the
Yeah.
steps will be when they come in, they will come in and do all the work to set the
Yes.
money up.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. We already get the approvals for that? I think we did. Okay. Approval of the town supervisor to sign the Rock and River fireworks contract with Leland Green for a total of $3,500.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Adrian, and second.
I'll second it.
And what's great about it is we have sponsors to cover all of those prices, which is wonderful. Business sponsors in the community here. And all in favor again?
Aye.
Okay. Going to transfers and amendments, please.
I'll make a motion that we accept the transfer amendments.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Okay, Francis, I know you guys did the audit this today, so we have to have you done. And all in favor?
Aye.
The warrants.
Make the motion to accept the warrants.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Francis, all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion reports, let's go to Brenda.
For 2022, August, in the board meeting, our revenue was $4,868,755. In 2023, as of today, is $5,476,026. So our revenue, our 2023 revenue is $607,271 more than August of '22. Our expenses in '22 were $4,738,270. Our expenses for 2023 are $4,858,938. So our 2023 expenses is $120,668 more than August of 2022.
Thank you, very good. I like to see those figures you have each month, that really helps out a lot. Let's go to the committee reports, please. Highway Superintendent.
For the highway department, we continue working with the Power Authority on the modernization project that involves town roads. We chipped brush pile 2 times. We finished repairs on the dump road. We mowed the cemeteries 2 times. We continue road work on North Racket. We mowed town roadsides for the 2nd time. We fixed 2 yards where we had water line breaks. For equipment repairs, Unit 51, we just got back from Fifth Wheel Diesel in Malone for electrical problems. Unit 45, we replaced an air valve for the brake system. Unit 47, we fixed a leaking axle seal. For the airport, Boutique's air numbers for July, they had 113 in plane, 110 deplaned for a total of 223. They had 64 landings and 9 canceled flights. The runway 523 project rehab is still on track. The airport is due to open tomorrow morning and flights will resume.
Great.
The east end of Alpha, the taxiway lights are still out. They are continuing to do maintenance. The Massena Library, no new issues. The museum, no new issues. And the town hall, no new issues.
Sounds good to me, there's no new issues, okay. Thank you very much. Joint recreation, please.
Joint recreation met on August 8th. They had 30 people at the frog jumping contest, and Adam Terminelli won. He was 5 years old, was the youngest winner that they ever had. They had the Massena Youth Soccer sign-ups. They had 528 kids sign up, and the hockey season, or soccer season, goes for 7 weeks. Summer recreation, they had 140 kids the first week go to summer rec to the beach. The program ran all day, and it was K through 8. Talked about a trip, they went on to Callisto trip, the water park. They had 27 people that went on the trip, and they had a great time. They're gonna have a street hockey camp August 21st through the 24th for 6 to 12-year-olds, cost $25. They're looking to start maybe a frisbee golf course at the beach, I believe. I think it's really called disc golf, but they talked about that, and that's something that he's going to try to set up. I know he's bought some of the equipment for it, but I just don't know when he's going to start that. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is fine. The next meeting is going to be September 12th at 3 o'clock at the
Frank said one thing that they got the bids to repair the roof, the flat part in the front, and hope to have that completed by December.
Okay, thanks, Francis. Town library, please.
Library board met on August 8th. They're seeing a positive trend in the number of visits as well as resource circulation numbers. Great. July report that we received includes social media analytics now, so Facebook and Google activity, which was pretty high considering, you know, the number of people that are out there. Kind of surprised me with their numbers, so that's a good thing to track. These numbers will give us a snapshot of public engagement with the library. It's a good source for them. Library continued to provide numerous programs in July and has a slate scheduled for August. You can refer to their monthly newsletter on their website for more information. They set up a story walk for kids during the Big Bass Tour, and we understand that was very well received, so great idea. And they're going to be hosting a booth at Rock in the River on the 19th and giving away free books, and the Friends of the Library will be selling totes and books and things like that. Trustees reviewed the 2024 proposed budget, and it has been submitted to the town.
Okay, thank you very much. Good. Town Museum, please.
Yes, visitors from June, we had 56, July we had 41. The letter campaign, and we've got another $1,000 pledged on that.
Good.
The storage building, there's 2 grants, one for 5,000, one for 50,000. We're talking about a 60 by 20 building. And we're looking to put a fire department display in the area. And I was assured that that meeting at the former historian has no town property.
Okay. Good. And if any of you get the copy of the newsletter from the Northern New York Foundation in Watertown, Community Foundation, there was a nice article and picture of our museum and what they're doing to give us $5,000 toward the storage, which is nice. And Dylan and I went over this morning, we kind of like changed the location. Can I explain what happened there, Dylan?
Originally, it was supposed to be in the back entrance on the right-hand side where the parking spots are. Due to the size of the building, it would be encroaching on the laneway. So it has been moved up right behind the museum in the Rite Aid corner of the parking lot. We are going to remove a piece of curbing to accommodate the new traffic going through there.
Yeah, we were originally concerned about if you come in from Main Street, going around that corner, we don't want anybody to go too fast and go right into the building. So they have a plan so that we should be
Yes.
able to alleviate any issues there. And of course, if people would just slow down a little bit too, we wouldn't have any problems. That would be helpful. Yeah, thank you, Dylan. Town planning, zoning,
Tomorrow.
okay. Did you meet last month? Oh,
No.
okay, but you've gotten some emails to deal with whatever we're hearing
Yes.
about now. Okay. The electric department.
Massena Electric met on July 24th. It's been 387 days since the last lost time work-related injury, no reportable injuries in 750 days. In June, there were 12 trouble calls affecting only one customer and 4 calls that affected more than one. 3 of the multi-customer calls were related to animal-bird contact, and 1 was related to a falling tree. Financials, write-offs for June were $16,255. The fund balance continues to run above budget. Total cash expenditures running below budget. June power consumption still running slightly below average. Summer help would be continuing for another 3 weeks. New 5-year contract with the auditors was approved. The order for 1 new replacement vehicle has been placed and 1 is still pending. Transformer purchase is in progress. Putney continues to work on the Emerald Ash Borer project. Next meeting is scheduled for tomorrow.
Good. Okay, thank you.
One other thing, they put a 5-year audit, but 3 years of regular audit, and then there's an option, years 4 and 5. To see whether they want to make any changes in that.
Option for years 3. Did you say 3 and 5?
No,
Option
4 and
for
5.
years 4
For
and
years
5.
4 and 5.
Okay. All right, thank you. As far as the Chamber of Commerce, again, the St. Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce, we call it now, is completing the merger with the county and the St. Lawrence County Chamber, so we're getting it all together. And they're showing very active advertising for positions in Massena. If you haven't seen it, take a look, because we do want to hire someone here. And there's also positions in the county for the St. Lawrence County Chamber, so take a look at what's online. And also online, they have their online membership and their ongoing activities. They're very, very detailed, so if you're an online person, please take advantage of that. As far as the Comprehensive Capital Planning Committee, met on August 3rd, updated their list of needs for the highway, the airport, the town hall, and water in general. They made a plan to seek grant funding for these areas for 2024, and we'll meet early January to review the status of each, because I know Linda's working on all those areas right now. So we'll know more when you get those papers to us. Okay. Okay, Jason, please.
Good evening. We're a few days away from our summer event, Rocking the River Beach-a-Palooza, on Saturday, August 19th. I hope everybody can join us out there. A lot of work goes into putting this all together, all the little moving parts. But one thing I want to note is our sponsors. I mean, this came through. We raised $11,820 to put on this event. So I'm just going to list those businesses off that helped us put this on. Air Products, Northern Credit Union, North Country Co-location Services, Massena Savings and Loans, Patriot Paving, Seacom Federal Credit Union, Proba Contracting, Elans, Arconic, H3 Designs, Liberty Utilities, City Dogs of Northern New York, St. Lawrence Health, and one of the vendors, Jenna Decker. So we've raised the money to put the show on. It's all 100% community funding, which is nice. And now it's putting all the pieces together. We already started transforming the beach. Dylan and his guys will be out there with me tomorrow, and we'll erect all the stuff and get things going. It's going to be a rat race.
Do you want to tell which things are performing at what time for people?
Yes. So Massena Town
You
Beach.
might, you know.
Massena Town Beach, starting at 2 o'clock. Tap to Toll perform at 2 o'clock. Then Chris Cole come on, and he'll play from 3 to about 4:30. Then Adam Ghost will go on at 5 o'clock. And then followed by our headliner, which is Draw the Line, the Aerosmith Tribute Band. And a beautiful fireworks display to close out the evening.
So all we need is good weather.
That's
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be? Good.
Is it?
Wow. That'd be great. Good.
I've had my fingers and toes crossed for the last 2 weeks, every single day.
And you have lots of vendors and tables set up by
Yes,
organizations?
Messena Public Library, they'll be there, they're giving books away. Jordan will be there, NCCS, and you're giving a kayak away, right? Kayak giveaway.
Trying to get it out of the driveway.
All sorts, Frenchies, Ford will be there, we got food trucks, local vendors. For food trucks, we'll have Cam's Pizza, City Dogs of Northern New York, Pig and Moo Barbecue, and then Elans, Canab Orchards, and Maple Brewing will be doing the alcohol, adult beverage side of things.
Any other tables that you know of? Is the hospital going to be there this year?
Is St. Lawrence Health doing anything?
No,
Okay.
got quite the list. If you are interested, you can go to exploremessena.com/rockintheriver, and we have the vendors and everybody listed in there, along with sponsors and everybody else.
Great. And the parking's all set up and very well organized, is
Yep.
what I understand. So,
We'll have the state troopers patrolling the area for any of the security reasons. Louisville Fire will be directing traffic in and out.
good.
And Massena Rescue, we did request for somebody to be available that day as well.
Wonderful. Good. Good. All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Good. Okay, and Doug Meisner.
Well, we just completed our second big tournament of the summer, and a lot of you were there to see what that was all about, but it was really fantastic. We never before have had so many people enter anything here in the town of Massena. We had 400 anglers from around the United States come. And the interesting thing is, when we broke it down, because we also did a survey at this event for an economic development expansion of what we're trying to do. And in that survey, we discovered that only 15% of those 400 people and their families were from New York State. They were from 40 different states around the country. And so, again, things have been moving along incredibly. The reactions, and a lot of you heard some of the reactions when you came to the registration meeting, but the reactions from the people around the country about coming to Massena are amazing. One thing I did want to add is one of the guys, the guy that won this was from Tennessee. And he got up on the stage and he started raving about this. He said he came here a year ago and entered. And he was so impressed and loved the area so much that this summer he came and stayed the whole summer. And we had stories like this that abounded with this operation. The other thing I wanted to tell you is that we're also, and Deb had been part of this, we're also investigating the possibility. There's a kayak kiosk, that isn't the right word, but it's one of these things where They have the kayaks all set in this machine, you put your credit card in, and you can rent the kayaks for a day or for however long you want to do it. We're talking to this company, they're a national company, of coming up here, setting something like that up. We're still in the investigation process to see if this would be amenable to what we do. But I will tell you that in the sport shows that we do in the winter, some of the biggest interest from people in the Northeast is about fishing our other rivers that we're not even using in our tourism sort of expansion program. So we're still looking into that. But what they would do is they would set this, is kiosk the right word? Okay. This kiosk, and we're talking about doing it at the Massena intake right on Route 37 as you just leave Massena by Stewart's. There's any other place that we could do this. People can rent the kayak and 50% of the revenues come back to the town of Massena. There's a lot more that we have to discover. It's a 5-year program. After the 5 years, it goes on forever from what they're saying. Again, it's all right now at the point just what they're saying. I also want to take this time for 2 other things because it's important. The reason that these tournaments have been so successful is because of the volunteers that have helped us do. The reason people get up on the stage and they rave about Massena isn't just the bass fishing that's out there in the river. It's the way they're treated when they come here, and it's different than any other place, and that's because of the volunteers that make it possible. Tom had been part of this for a long time, and now Adrian has helped me, and we've put together a team of people that do this, so I think that's important to say. And finally, Bob Elsner came in tonight, and he gave a check to the town of Massena for, and I'll present this to you, Sue. You can give it.
Bob here?
He had to leave because there was something happening with his daughter. But it's for youth fishing programs, tournaments, and whatever we do in Massena as we go forward.
And it's for $500, that's great.
I think it's great too, so thank you.
And I have a couple other things to
Yes.
say. When I was meeting the anglers a week ago up at Trinity, Trinity was very gracious to have the anglers there for their opening. And again, the cafeteria was packed with people, it was very, very warm. But still, there were some anglers that came over to us board members that attended to make a point to tell us, we really enjoy coming to Massena. The restaurants, the cafes, the diners, the hotels that they've been staying at, they're very, very pleased. It was nice to hear that from them, and again, I've talked to you from Oklahoma, Tennessee, and again, over the weekend there, I think it was Friday or Saturday, whichever day, a couple other men from Oklahoma came over and said they really enjoy coming to Massena, only because everybody's so friendly. And I went, this is great to hear.
It is.
So, we hear it from you, but it was good for me to hear it.
Yeah, but
Okay?
you know what? The thing you said I wanted to say and I forgot was the Trinity School has been so incredible, and they've helped foster this image of friendliness and openness and welcome that we have. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned them too. Thank you, Sue, because I forgot.
Sure. Okay,
I just want to say one thing on the
Oh,
fishing as
Adrian,
well,
go ahead.
sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Right now, we have a certain kind of momentum, and I spoke with Don about it before, where this fishing is starting to pay off for the area, the economics of the area. But we need to be able to be proactive and being able to get other types of businesses, and I don't want to bring up hotels, but we are really in a major shortage of people to stay here. A lot of the bed and breakfasts have made a lot of money in this area, and rentals made a lot of money, but somebody is missing out on a huge opportunity. If we had the right hotel with the right person running it, they can make millions of dollars. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think that this fishing, and with people coming to the area, you can start seeing the different opportunities that people are using it for to snowball their own venture. One of them, like Don was saying, and I heard it from 3 or 4 of people, is these fishermen are coming up here, staying the whole summer. I don't know if they're renting or buying a place, but they're actually doing fishing tours out on the St. Lawrence River. So that money's staying here. Like, they're making the money here and it's staying in the area. So it's important for us as a board and whoever we can get the ear on is to try to get somebody to start investing back into Massena and try to get us back on the right path of being a successful town.
Sounds good to me, I think we all agree with that.
What were we able to get some of the, more people were staying, and I know we were gonna try and do that, but I don't know if we, to get the real economic analysis of where they went, where they ate, where they stayed.
Not to that degree, but we did at least start that, where we took a survey with every single angler that came up to weigh their fish, where they had come from. We have previous information on that, but I'm glad you asked me, because the heads of the FLW, the Major League Fishing, they have assured us that within a week, they're going to get us more specific information of where everybody came, every single town that these people came from, their zip codes, and also an economic impact breakdown of what they have discovered in doing this. So they're gonna work with us to try to help us project this forward, because they know that the most important thing to us is to be able to ascertain and develop an economic impact understanding of everything that we're
That
doing.
makes it so much better for us to be able
Yes.
to sell to people, make certain people understand what's really going on.
Absolutely.
And economic impact.
And Don had people, not to cut you off, sorry, I apologize, but Don did have people come up to him and ask if they could get information on how they can get their home or their cottage or their bed and breakfast on our website, and other information to the fishermen so they could rent their places out, which I thought was pretty exciting.
Make sure you connect with Jason, that's what
Yeah.
Jason's doing.
Yeah, that's what Don said.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Okay.
The Jason's spare time.
No, that's okay. That's just supplement, it's okay.
Okay. And Linda, please.
Okay, I had a few remarks prepared, but I will mention that I'm hearing a theme this evening. And the theme is data collection, and how important that is for all of us, whether we are just people in the neighborhood who are listening and perhaps observing what's going on, or participating at the intake when we see this influx of 200 anglers and 200 co-anglers with 400 vehicles, and all of the various effects that creates with respect to having the necessary volunteers to assist with parking and traffic direction. But the underlying point of all of this, when I prepare my reports for the board, I talk about the things that I do, but one of the things that I think we might want to focus on with a little bit of greater detail are feasibility studies, so that we have more data, we have more information that we can then weave into these proposals, because there are new programs coming along the horizon. Reconnecting Neighborhoods is one of them. They're talking about disadvantaged populations, and Massena sort of fits in that category. So, to that end, whatever we might have in terms of data is extremely critical going forward, so that we can have the necessary information to make the case for everything that we need in Massena. So anytime there's an opportunity to get money, we need to be able to access that. But if we're preparing the reports, or if we have them already, that's going to make us that much stronger in our appeal. So that's everything. Thanks.
And I get a lot of reports from both federal and New York State for all kinds of grant programs. As soon as I get them, I send them right to Linda right away, because the more information you have and the rubrics which they're providing, so you can figure out what we got to put in for us to have more help here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Linda. Okay, if there's no other business, we need to go into executive session. I need a motion to go into executive session, the reasons being discussions related to proposed, pending, or current litigation, medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or relating to appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or removal, and also acquisition, lease, or sale of real property or securities when publicity would substantially affect the value.
We have comments from
Oh, sure.
peanut gallery.
Not a peanut gallery, Nancy, we appreciate all you've done.
Nancy Frigo, retiree, town of Massena. Several months ago, a $40 a month insurance plan was on the agenda as a resolution to be passed. And I'd just like to thank Tom Miller for speaking up, and I appreciate also the help from Francis and reflection on him. He did a great job while he was our representative and provided the best coverage he could at the time. So I'd just like to thank him for all the years he supported us with all our questions and problems. And one last thing, if you don't think something's fair, stand up and fight.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nancy. Now, motion to go into executive session, please.
So moved.
Deb, and second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.